Paul, we've been taking some heat on this show for a long time. Years ago, 2018, you were not a big fan of Bitcoin. I was on the show convincing you that you should be.
Trying to convince me.
That's right. Trying. Thank you. I own 3 shares. All my buddies were into it. Most of them who had no idea what they were doing.
And now they look like geniuses.
They do. I got into some schemy stuff where I was giving people Bitcoin to mine extra Bitcoin, lost some money. I've told you about that because
that was a scam, right?
Yeah, that was a scam. But in general, speaking of scams, is China, Mo, is now thinking Bitcoin is a scam, or at least they want to get their money under control. So last week they are regulating, darn near just making it illegal to trade money. Coinbase, the Binance, these companies that are handling the trades are freaking out. Some people are saying, is this going to bleed into other societies? We've seen videos by whack jobs like Andre Geek telling you that basically any coin you buy, you're going to be a millionaire if you own any Bitcoin at all. But in general, they said that they'll mention countries like El Salvador, Paul. This is the tipping point, that when El Salvador starts accepting Bitcoin, we're in a great spot. And we've said in the past, what happens when China, India, or the United States say Bitcoin is illegal or regulated? So the point of this video is we want to get Paul's thoughts and Mo's thoughts on this idea of the Chinese crackdown on Bitcoin and its ramifications leading this way. And Mo, you've talked to us before about this idea that the United States may move to some sort of Bitcoin type coin called the Fed coin, where they can regulate it.
It can be called Bitcoin for all I care. It's just not going to be the Bitcoin that you know it as of now. And you're seeing it in China. Think about everything that's happening in China with Evergrande and their debt problems and their situation that's going on with Alibaba and wanting to get more money from these companies. Their markets are struggling right now because of that. And if you think for a second that they're going to let this get thrown onto the fire, no, they're just going to shut this right down and say, no more cryptocurrency. And you're seeing it. And that's what a lot of countries are going to do. Paul, if they can't control it, they are not going to allow it.
Paul, your thoughts on just general?
Listen, China's got other issues. We've talked about China many times. I'm a buyer of Alibaba stock. But I do understand there is a concern with Chinese regulation. They are / were a socialist communist country. They're trying to become more capitalist. For a long time, I've always said capitalism tends to breed on more freedom for individuals. Of course, there are people who say that's not true. It only helps a certain group, whatever. But I look at society and I look at history and say the more capitalistic a society is, you've seen overall the wealth of society get better and better. Is China the be-all and end-all for Bitcoin? No, maybe not. I just saw Alibaba is going to stop allowing crypto ATMs or whatever it is. It's just, to me, I just look at it and say, okay, let me think about this like I'm a country. I'm the United States, I'm China, I'm India. And this coin is created for the sole purpose of trying to avoid detection, to be more secretive. Why do I like this? We always talk about, there'll be people out there saying, we don't like government regulations, but then we vote for bigger government. I look at saying, okay, we vote for bigger government, it means we want more government involvement. Why would the government allow us to do things without them knowing? And all it takes is the government saying, yes, you do crypto, we're going to do something against you. Why? Because you think China, India, and the United States are going to allow some digital currency that wasn't created by them to become the number one currency? You think it's going to allow that to happen? And some people might say, well, no, Paul, but it will happen. No, it won't. It will not happen. I mean, I should say this, if they don't want it to happen, they can stop it, right?
You think even the United States?
Absolutely. If the United States came out tomorrow and said crypto is banned.
I guess I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, forget about being surprised or not. What would you do? If you're a holder of crypto, you can be like, yes, the government banned crypto. This is great for me. I'd be like, well, wait a second. And then we always go back to everybody buys crypto in order to make more US dollars. So they're not even using it for the purpose. Does that mean that's always going to be the case? No, it could very well change things. But I think we're in a very euphoric time in markets where stocks and real estate and crypto are so easy to make money on. A guy like Andre G can sit there and say, according to his numbers, I think he said 19% growth within forever. I don't think he said forever, but he didn't sit there and clarify how long. He said, if you buy this, you'll make 19%. In 60 years, it's been, that one coin or the crypto market is worth more than the entire U.S. government, U.S. economy.
Yeah, U.S. economy.
Does that even make sense? No. Like, if you really believe that's possible, great, but that's what we always think of. We see this belief, we see this thing go up, and we go, I believe this will be big, without understanding the fundamentals of it. I just think there are way too many unknowns to be paying these huge dollars for cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. It just drives me nuts. And the fact is also, there are more cryptos out there than there are currencies in the world. Shouldn't that be alarming for people? I can go start a crypto tomorrow if I just want to start a crypto. Celebrities have crypto. It's like, guys, think about this rationally. Just think about it. How many cryptocurrencies are there out there right now? 6,000, 8,000, 10,000? I don't know. It's huge.
Yes.
Think about that rationally. How many currencies are there? Way less than that in terms of national currencies backed by a government. I'm libertarian. I'm very big on independence, but I disagree with a lot of libertarians about crypto. Why? Because we still have the US government that's standing there saying, we are going to back the US dollar. When people say, oh, the dollar is no different than Bitcoin. Okay, but who's behind Bitcoin and who's behind the US dollar? The US dollar is backed by the strength of the United States and the government there. Crypto is backed by your 17-year-old pimply neighbor kid who says it's the best thing ever. Which would you rather have it backed by? I'd rather pick the US government and the US economy. Yeah, no. Are there issues with that? Of course there are, but doesn't mean I'd still rather have that.
In the end, it's going to take a long time to get normal Americans to switch from paying US dollars to buying groceries to Bitcoin. We're talking a huge,
it might happen.
long transition.
By the way, it might happen. But to me, it's this exact same analogy about Intel and Cisco back in 2000. They tripled their revenue and profit, yet their stock is still down. Bitcoin may well be the answer for everything. But does that mean you should pay $50,000 a coin for it, $60,000 a coin? What price is not too much then?
Yeah.
If you can't tell me what price is too, and you'll be like,
well, again, Andre G says it doesn't matter what price.
And that should be alarming to everybody out there hearing it. But unfortunately, it won't be alarming to the people who will probably be hurt because of it.
Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Paul, he says, expect one of the largest crashes to ever occur soon. Mm-hmm. And the hedge against this is gold, silver, and Bitcoin. He groups the three. Your thoughts?
Okay. I mean, I don't know what's driving Bitcoin besides euphoria. So for me, listen, do I understand the logic? Yes. If people vacate stocks in real estate, they'll probably go to gold or some other currency. Maybe it's Bitcoin, but I don't know. And to me, when I don't know, I avoid. That's just the way I do things. I don't know, I avoid. You don't know, you get excited because you build a story in your head. Oh, look what could happen. Things like that.
Yeah, I have a point to make. So the Fed is talking a lot about they're going to create their own. They're going back and forth saying, are we going to create our own coin? If the United States Fed does that, all of these other Bitcoins are going to be wiped out.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be because people are going to see security in it. Why? Because it's backed by the federal government, just like the US dollar is. It's going to go to that. That's exactly what's going to happen. Bitcoin might be around. It's going to be worth a lot less because people, I really do feel like people know and they want security in this. And if there is backing from the government, all of these other coins are being wiped out.
Paul, if a viewer is seeing this show for the first time and they bought at the height of Bitcoin earlier this year at
64,000?
Yeah, 64,000. And now they're down to 30%. Paul, what should they do? We get this question in our community.
If your fundamentals it's hard to take a loss on something. I get that. But if the fundamentals that you believe in do not justify the investment you're in, move on. Could it go back up? Absolutely. Could it go down further? That's probably more likely the fundamentals don't match up. If you have a new process, if you have a new outlook on how you look at investments, move on. You won't remember the investment loss a year from now. You'll forget it completely. Just move on.
Yeah.
I had, obviously because the market, I've only had one loss in the last year, but it was a big loss. And guess what? I didn't care. Now I don't care. I was like, by the way, if we kept it, we'd have made a ton of money.
I calculated it the other day.
But that's okay. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It was our oil bet, right?
It was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was our oil futures bet.
Yeah, okay, great, whatever. Just move on.
Yeah,
You're going to make a better decision in the future by moving on.
It's funny. Mikey said to me the other day, he was like, this is what we would have made if we held this. And it was funny because I didn't get any pit in my stomach. I didn't think, I was just like.
No FOMO.
That sucks. That's what I thought.
But that takes a discipline. That's what we're trying to do in the show.
I was very happy with myself.
What we're trying to teach is discipline, right? We're trying to teach this, okay, I'm going to miss out on investments that everybody else makes a killing on, but because I don't understand it, I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. That doesn't bother me at all. I wish everybody else had that same, actually I don't wish it, because if everybody had the same outlook, we probably wouldn't be able to do as well as we do in investing, right? So listen, it is a hard thing. Bitcoin's exciting when you see everybody in the world making money off it and you feel like the idiot at the table. Me, I love hearing, the average person tell me how great Bitcoin is. I just go, that's my indication. I can't be in it.
Can't. He can't do it, folks.
Shan't.
This is starting his pant. Fondle the thumbs up on the way out. Watch all of our 10 gajillion videos, and you'll be prepped, hip to the jive, Paul.
Yeah, let's be hip to the jive.
About investing. Fondle the thumbs up. See you next video, guys. And don't buy Bitcoin. You won't be rich. I'll guarantee it.